Why hello and welcome back everyone, my name is E.G.O and today we're back with the Limbus company. So, after the previous encounter with Walpurgis Night event, after reading the comments and getting to know the boss more, I did manage to defeat it the normal way. So I got some rewards here. I'm not gonna try a hard one, I'm not even gonna try. But we did get some rewards, so might as well just spend a bit, I suppose. What did I get? What did I get? I have 4 pulls. I have, well, 5 pulls, ultimately. And what did I get? What was it that I got? Is it something incustomizable? Nope, not here. Ah, this is the thing I got. Okay. Well, we have 5 pulls, so let's go. Well, extract again. Extract again. Nothing. I'm looking for green. Come on, green. Show me the greenery. The green. Nope. And last one. Come on, green. Ah! Well, we tried. We tried our best, still no Rodia. We'll see what we can do. But for now, before we start with this, even though we have minis here, Dante's records, bus's back door, beyond the bus's corridor, before the unchanging, we still have Dante's notes finally unlocked. So, yo! Yeah, there's a lot. Oh my god. Let's check them out a bit. I'm not sure where to even start. I guess it's only natural, given that I can't tell how much I forgot to begin with. Maybe I'll start by making notes whenever I run into things I don't remember. Fair. Limbus Company, Record 1. And oh my god. There's a lot. Okay. Record 1. Limbus Company. The place I work for. It's a name that should be the most closely related to me, but it's also the hardest to describe for me, because they won't tell me anything. I didn't join the company of my own accord. At first, I thought the company's initiative was to find and retrieve the golden bows. But that only seems to be our department's goal, not the entire company's. Record number 2. From what I can tell, each department has its own aims, and there's no common goal shared by all of them. It looks like the company has substantial backing. The company's support was never lacking whenever we got its help, though Rodia seems to have a lot to say about the meals. Sinners. 3 records. Seems to be a term that refers to the 12 people on the LCB's bus with me. Based on conversations I overheard, they appear to have joined the company similar to how I did, but they've been nicknamed like they're bound here somehow. I asked Vergilius about the term, but he didn't give me a clear answer. Him and his "you'll see in due time" has shut down several questions with remarks like that. Looks like I have no other option here. I've got to write down whatever I learn. Which I love that about you. Adding a couple new discoveries about the sinners. First, it looks like sinner is specifically used to refer to those who've formed a contract that I had no choice for opting out of with me. And it appears they're the only people I can bring back to life with my clock. The sinners might be the ones who can resonate with the golden bows we seek. When we approach one, it seems to reveal the fathoms of the sinner's ego, making us experience their past or peer into their psyche. The golden bows. Small branch-shaped objects that emit a golden glow. Don't really feel like tree branches. My head gets these tingling sensations whenever I get close to one. Whatever they are, they certainly aren't your ordinary gilded twigs that we're made to go after. The sinners seem to experience a kind of dizziness when they get near this thing. I hear it's called resonating. It might be similar to how I got headaches. Once we return with the bow, Virgilius calls people from some other department to take care of it. When I asked him about this, he just said it's submitted to headquarters. The LCB. Limbus Company Bus. Its name comes from the fact we're on a bus. Feels like they didn't put a lot of thought into that name, but the other departments aren't far ahead in terms of sophistication. The team includes people like me and the ones called sinners, who are sitting back behind. Still not used to this word. The purpose is to retrieve things called golden bows from the underground facilities of lobotomy, or whatever the R Corp stood for. I don't know what golden bows are, but from the sound of it, some physical objects shaped like tree branches. We'll make a separate note when I learn more. Seems retrieving golden bows isn't the only job. We're sent to deal with any task on the way to the company's objective that needs capabilities unique to me or the sinners. I'm starting to wonder how this company came to be, and why it had to be me and the sinners to do all this, but Faust won't tell me. She says the security level is too low for me to access the information, but she seems to know something more. Why does a sinner know more about the company when I'm the executive manager? Yeah, when it comes to Faust, it definitely seems like she is a very important asset to the company. That her library, her mind palace, is full of information that is useful to the company. Probably they fed it to her specifically. I don't know if she's like an experiment of the company, I don't know. But it's a definite fact that she is connected to the company way more than we are. Since even Virgilius was putting expectations on her specifically. So, very fascinating. The LCC, the Limbus Company Clearance. Its name comes from the fact that they clean things up and out. It was formed to aid the bus team's work. Unlike the sinners, I can't revive them with my powers, which explains the care put into their gear and equipment. The department seems to be split into two teams. The before team, LCCB, handles scouting and preparation work, while the after team, LCCA, handles gathering and cleaning up what we've done. I haven't met them yet, but the teams seem to be diving into several sections if Virgilius's phone calls are anything to go by. Met with Effie and Saude from preliminary observation of the P4 team. I asked them a few questions when I had the time. I'll try to write down what I learned. Also wanted to ask what exactly they do, but the session got interrupted by Don Quixote suddenly causing a scene. Effie sighed. That preliminary observation pays the least out of all before team's subsections. Judging from what I heard about the department, having far more staff than the others, they might be treated as expendables. Effie and Sauda died during our operation. Oh, Sevens! 07s. Ugh. Okay. The nests. Fixers, syndicates, the backstreets, the city's technology abnormalities. Okay, the nests. Oh my god, there's a lot. Record 1 seems to be a term that refers to urban centers in the city. The city is divided into multiple sections, and each of them comprises a nest and a backstreets portion. A nest is basically under the management and protection of a conglomerate called a wing, while the backstreets aren't too big of an influence, I think? Ask Virgilius if I came from a nest or the backstreets, but he ignored me. E.G.O Corp. What a nice place, we just been there. Located in District 11's nest. As evidenced by our nightmarish battle at the checkpoint, E.G.O Corp's singularity seems to give the user the capability to continuously heal, or regenerate rather, their body. Faust called it helapoiesis. But it seems to be more commonly referred to as HP, bullets, or ampules, by regular denizens of the city. Thanks to that, all the sinners died and I almost fainted, bearing 12 people's worth of pain at once. Interesting, okay, so we didn't really get a confirmation to that, but Dante doesn't suffer equally if he rewinds one person or 12. The amount of pain he experiences directly depends on the number of people he rewinds. But those HP ampules did also help restore my melted lower half to perfectly good health. E.G.O Corp seems to be utilizing this technology for a number of industries. Also, a small detail, it's nice to see that we can see it through the Marisol's identity and Corp identity, that he actually, Guido, was having the E.G.O Corp's technology, singularity, HP flowing liquid under his mask. That's why he was able to always come back. Which makes perfect sense, but also it kind of goes against E.G.O Corp's beliefs, kinda. Which kind of makes... I don't know if it's just Guido, but it kind of makes them hypocritical. Which we knew they were, but still. Record 2. According to Sanjo, an employee we met at Ongbong's, the wing might also be developing food-related tech using the singularity. Interesting. R Corp. Full name Lobotomy Corporation. Also, it doesn't say E.G.O Corp's full name. Its nest was in District 12, a fallen wing, its spot currently vacant. It was apparently the epicenter of a city-wide event called the White Nights and Dark Days. When did they mention this? Time update, huh? It's 984, 423. Huh. The same day as... Wait, hold on. Yeah, the same day as Samjo interaction, okay. Which everyone seems to know, except for me, or would that be the amnesia? The facilities we searched through the Golden Bows all once belonged to this now defunct R Corp. Hang on. Oh, Lobotomy Corporation. Oh, okay. Name of the R Corp that existed in the past. It was an energy provider. It transported abnormalities, like those we've encountered, to facilities in their eggy forms, and managed them in containment units to produce energy in the form of enkephalin. I'm told it's... Oh, actually, hold on. So enkephalin was the energy source that R Corp was providing, extracting from the abnormalities. So does that mean that Mephistopheles, maybe the core of Mephistopheles, was also created using one of the abnormalities? I wonder. I'm told it once supplied energy to many other companies and wings, pretty much all over the city, basically. So it must have been a pretty weighty enterprise. Then one day, a fierce ray of light shot out of the headquarters, and the company went under just like that. I even heard that after the company was gone, some tower thing appeared in its place, and then disappeared sometime after. The wing's spot is still vacant as I write this, which apparently has the whole district in chaos. Which is... With its headquarters gone, the branch facilities around the city all shut down and were buried underground. So how long ago did this happen? Like, something happened to the R Corp, the facilities shut down, and had different civilizations built on top of them. Like, there was a whole village, Sinclair's village, on top of one. It doesn't just happen overnight, or even in a span of a year. N Corp, Record 1. Knuckle und Hammer, located in District 14's Nest. Knuckle obviously means nail. Okay, so it's District 14. We have dealt with the N Corp in K Corp, which is District what? District 11, yeah. But the main headquarters of this corporation are in District 14, which means we are still not done with them. I wonder if they are all lunatics like that, or was it also like just a branch of this corporation? Well, they gotta be all lunatics because of the name Knuckle and Hammer, right? Having spoken with Marisol, apparently there are two factions under the name of Nail and Hammer. Okay. According to him, the armor-clad Inquisitors we faced weren't nearly as prevalent when he worked for the Wing, and they weren't the majority faction during his time there. Unlike the group led by Cromer and Corp, as a whole, doesn't appear too different from other big corporations outside some rigidness. Okay, that's what I was thinking. So, the Cromer group was indeed like a branch of the N Corp, and doesn't represent N Corp as a whole. Interesting. It's possible to have a cult be inside of a large group, right? That only some people are privy to. But first of all, I doubt they were doing it in secret from the N Corp. I'm sure the N Corp were aware of Cromer's actions. But I'm just wondering if they are also crazy hats, just like her. They might not be following like the same religious path, but who knows. Not sure what its main business is, but some sinners seem to know a couple of things about the Wing. If only they'd speak to me at all about it. So some sinners know something about N Corp's Wing. Interesting. R Corp, located in District 18's Nest. I don't remember hearing anything about the R Corp. Maybe we did, but I just can't remember. It's 5-7. 5-7. Okay, so it's after everything that happened. Maybe it's something I shouldn't know at the moment. I don't know. Located in District 18's nest, with what I've learned about R Corp from its related sinners, it seems a little different from the other wings I know so far. While most wings provide many a convenience by utilizing their singularities to improve people's quality of life, R Corp mainly deals in armed services like mercenaries. R Corp's power as a wing comes from the quality of its military services. Autis added that as important as a troop's size is, much of its strength in battle will come from field expertise and mental fortitude. In that sense, she says R Corp's combatants, soldiers, employees, are like killing machines with undaunted spirits on top of being in great health. I wonder if Autis is from R Corp. Gregor said it's common for ordinary soldiers to lose their will to fight and then flee the battlefield or fall into panic, and those who don't are the exceptions. Obviously, he would say that being one of the people that did flee. I wonder if R Corp runs war games and simulations or something. Record 2. Hearing what R Corp's identities have to say, the wing has a team called the Fourth Pack, with 3 subdivisions: rabbits, reindeer, and rhinos. Okay, so interesting. First of all, we know that their identities are a thing in the universe, and they are actually there, replacing our sinners. But it's interesting that they are addressing it like Dante actually speaks to those identities when we summon them, to learn more information about the corporation those identities are from. Super interesting. But of course, I think the identities from opposing corporations or corporations that keep secrets won't necessarily share much with us. So, the wing called the Fourth Pack, with 3 subdivisions: rabbits, reindeer, and rhinos. The rabbits are all-rounders deployed to a wide range of missions. The reindeer have surgically gained antlers that converts mental strength into physical force. E.G.O much? While I haven't met the rhinos yet, I'm told their speciality is wreaking havoc. Interesting. And do you mean you've met a reindeer? The Wings, record number 1. Companies with the most advanced and influential technology in their district practically ruling over them. Okay, so it's like companies. The Wings. I thought the Wings would be... the wing would be more like a individual. Like a president or something. But no, it's a company. Supposedly, they're corporate entities, but the more I hear about the Wings, the more they sound like governing bodies. Come to think of it, Limbus Company doesn't seem to fit the conventional idea of a company either. We're on a bus all the time, for one. Each wing has trademarked technologies called singularities and uses the funds earned from them and ridiculous taxes to manage the high-class urban area inside its district, known as a nest. People who work for a wing seem to be nicknamed Feathers. W Corp. Again, something I have no knowledge about outside of identities. Record number 1, located in District 23rd's nest. I haven't visited this place yet, but I learned a thing or two about it from conversations with the identities from its wing. Once again, yes. Like, I decided not to touch the identities from the corporations I have not been to or heard anything yet. But it seems like, in lore, they are still there, and Dante still learns information from them. Which is very interesting. W Corp seems to be operating a transit service advertised as warp trains that take passengers from platform to platform in mere seconds. Tickets for warp trains are apparently pretty costly, and I'm told the first-class ones are plain ridiculous. Shouldn't you just cut costs and drive at that point? Record 2. Writing down additional details I've heard. While cars can take you anywhere, warp trains are preferred because travel by car can get incredibly complicated. Makes sense considering the procedures we went through just to get into K-Corp's nest. Speaking more, it seems the bigger problem is the roads are made inefficiently. They're so twisted and convoluted that it makes an unreasonable amount of time to travel between Backstreets areas by car. Even if the linear distance is short, the road to the destination will be labyrinthine. Purportedly, there are wide, open roads called highways connecting the nests, but that comes with a set of conditions and costs as well. Jesus Christ, these corporations, my god. Learned a shocking fact while talking with sinners done up in W Corp's identities. Interesting, done up. Though they didn't tell me directly, it seems that the trips on warp trains, which take no more than a few minutes from an outsider's perspective, make their passengers perceive a terribly long amount of time, dissolving their sanity and deforming them beyond recognition once the ride is finally over. Huh. Then it's the job of the cleanup agents to physically sort out the mess every time. Thank goodness we have a bus. What the heck? So that their singularity is a warp, but still, seems like a very unstable and dangerous thing. Why would they even have that then? They even promote it. Seems like there is... It seems like that there are other reasons for which they want this to be implemented. Not just for efficiency. This is all speculation based on conversations with the identities, so I'm planning to keep this information to myself. Okay. Well, now. Fixers. Sort of freelancers who take care of or help with various jobs and requests in the city. They don't work for free, of course. The whole society seems to be based around money. But I don't think I can say for sure that there are absolutely no fixers willing to do charity work, I guess. The ones I've seen and heard about were from all walks of life, too diverse for me to neatly summarize. If talking with mirrored identities counts too. Maybe it's a common career. It does seem like it. We've met a lot of fixers by now. Apparently you can't be a fixer just cause you want to. Some fixer-related identities told me that there are tests you need to pass to earn a license. Looks like fixers are graded with a number, 9 being the lowest and 1 being the highest. There's also a special grade called being a caller, I see. Regulus appears to be one. He has the moniker of the Red Gaze. He's supposedly pretty skilled and famous. So there is a ranking system for the fixers. First of all, it's the numbers from 9 to 1, and then after that, there goes the callers. And I don't think colors are like the grading system. Not like, oh, the red color is more powerful than the green one and stuff like that. We knew that Vergilius is a fixer, and a color at that. But it seems like the classification of color means that there are way more colors than just red gaze. So maybe there's like green lick, blue sniff, yellow piss. I don't know. Okay, what we have here? Offices. Offices and the associations. A term that encompasses all the corporate bodies or any place of business, really. They're founded by fixers that are founded. There seems to be some sort of rule that requires fixers to be part of an authorized organization of any kind if they want to work, and setting up a one-person office is apparently an option. Okay. I wonder which Vergilius is then. I'm still wondering why he is connected to the Limbus Corporation. But it seems like that he was hired. So maybe he is a part of a different office, or maybe he is just... No, he is by himself, right? Because the superhero dude, I forgot his name already, that was in the E.G.O Corp, he's working for the Wing. But he was saying to Vergilius, like, oh, you decided to work by yourself. So maybe he has exactly a one-person office. It looks like there's a pretty wide variety of fixers. Thinking back on the time we were in the Backstreets of District 4, D Corp territory. Oh, okay. So that's where we were. The office Yuri and Aya belonged to might have been the most common type. Anyways, I guess I can say fixers, officers, and associations are all entities that handle requests for a price. The associations seems to refer to the large organizations that manage fixers. Each association appears to have a specific field it specializes in to account for how free and open a fixer's line of work can usually be. There's a pretty wide variety. I've seen a few associations through the identities of sinners and their mirror worlds. One made... Oh. Huh. So Dante is also able to see the mirror worlds. I didn't know that. I thought he was only able to see identities that we summon. Or maybe he just learned information from them about their mirror worlds, I don't know. One major difference from freelance fixers is that they can't choose the jobs they want to take. Sync Association. They seem to specialize in single combat and dueling requests. Okay, so that's the dueling Sinclair that I have. Sync. Though it doesn't happen often, I hear there are still cases of people trying to settle disputes with a fair and honorable duel. When a person gets involved in a duel or has to challenge someone to it, and figures their opponents will clearly tear them a new airway, they sent this association a request. Sounds like they stand in for the client or something. All I know about this association comes from what I heard from the 7 association identities, so I couldn't learn much. Since the association doesn't get requests too often, it seems to be in charge of holding joint conferences and events with other associations as well. Leo Association, damn. 3 records. They seem to specialize in combat requests that involve groups of people. Although few fixers in the city go their lives without once ever embroiling themselves in battle, quoted from Donkey, the Liu Association seems to be unique in that each individual member is equipped to deal with multiple foes at once. According to Don Quixote, discerning the two may yet be a task too daunting for novice aficionados, she also added. While the Sync Association covers one-on-one situations like duels, the Liu Association handles engagement between multiple combatants. Come to think of it, most of those identities did seem to value cooperation and coordination over individual action. They also looked rather carefree too. Gregor's Liu Association identity also told me that it was common for him to take on groups of 5 or 6 at once. He didn't forget to proudly mention that he had whooped those kids. Heinies. Or whatever this word is. Another thing of note is the incendiary devices built into all their weapons. When I asked why they use fire-starting weaponry, they gave me varying answers like harmony or flow, but those honestly felt like roundabout remarks. In my opinion, it's probably because fire is effective as a weapon to strike foes around the target. Flames can spread after all. Okay, so Liu Association, Liu Gregor. I wanna check it out. I don't think I have him, do I? Hold on. No, there he is. I do have him. Liu Association. With a wooden arm. Hang on. Oh, wait. Where are you? Doesn't say. Are you here? No, it's Walpurgis. Hang on, standard. We have Liu Association guys here. There's Leo Marisol. There's Liu Ryushu, which she's sick as hell. Oh my god. Okay, ma'am. Liu Association fixer. Seems like that's it. So let's see. Season 1. E.G.O. Corp. Event. Sous chef. Season 2. K Corp event. Molar. No. Where is he? Huh? Is he just gone because I have him? I guess that is the case. Okay. I wanted to see the art for his uptie, but I don't think I will be able to. No. Oh well. Okay. The associations. She Association. They seem to specialize in assassination requests. Should note that it doesn't exactly mean they're the only fixers who ever take assassination jobs. To start, requesting an associate fixer is gonna cost a fortune. Plus, the demand for assassination is awfully high in the city, so even unknown offices on obscure streets seem to get those requests pretty often. And She Association. Do I have anyone from the She Association? All identities. I was thinking of Mao Faust, but no, it doesn't seem like it. A She Association. She. N Corp. We have Sync. Sinclair Duelist. Also, I just realized, huh? So this is the N Corp of Cromer. This is also N Corp. Haha, this is an N Corp. Fascinating. Okay. There's definitely more shenanigans there, yes. Okay, there it is. She Association. Huh. Also, hey, W Corp. He's on the train. Huh. Zway, Liu, hey! Look at that, Liu Association. Fascinating. Another She. Seven Association. Okay, and we've got LCCB too. The Before Squad. Fascinating. I love this. Love learning more. Let's check more. Standard. Liu Association, Zway Association. We know nothing about the Zway Association still. Dante has not written anything there. Liu Association. Yeah, fire. They all seem like firebenders. Another Liu Association. W Corp. Oh, this is a Sync Association Dawn. She doesn't look like a duelist, though. She's so cute. Interesting. She's one of the new ones. Oh. Didn't expect that. Wait, what? There's two Association Don Quixotes? Sync Association. This is the dual one? Section 3, Section 5. Okay, seems like Sync Association is more diverse, too. Fascinating. Oh my god. Oh, this is so cute. I love her. And another Liu Association. More fire, burn. Oh my god. So cozy, so chill. Lobotomy, Los Marikis. Event. I'm not gonna look into these because it's season 2. Well now. Fascinating. This might actually take like an entire episode almost. Fixers Association. Okay, we finished with the Fixers. Now, Syndicates seems to be what they call all kinds of gangs and organizations in the city. The term covers such a wide range of things. You can call pretty much any group of people together under a name as syndicate. The Blade lineage. We've seen these identities. A syndicate of sword-wielding ruffians and libertines roaming the backstreets. I'm guessing from the conversation with the sinners who wore such identities, they don't seem to act or move in groups much despite belonging to a syndicate. To be more precise, they do have temporary company from time to time, but there's no strict subgroups or pecking order. It's unfortunate that half of their answers were taking the piss, so I am unable to write proper answers here. Dante just writes it like it is. The Kurokumo clan, ooh. I'm thinking that the Kurokumo clan is gonna be a pivotal part in the story of one of the sinners. When I saw the identities. I'm like, oh, this seems kinda important. A giant syndicate spread deep and wide across the Backstreets. They seem to be characterized by long, single-edged swords with sheaths and dark, wavy clothes. Yeah. They basically earned their keep by taking protection fees from Backstreet's businesses under the pretext of offering safety. From what I heard from the identities, they seem to be in some kind of conflict with another syndicate called the Blade Lineage. I didn't get to hear the reason. Okay, so we got a conflict between the two syndicates. Interesting. They follow some sort of hierarchy, and henchmen are generally forbidden from disobeying their superiors. There do seem to be special exceptions if Honglu is to be believed. Okay, so Honglu is kind of tied to Kuromura clan. That's what I was thinking originally. So, standard. Fair. Let's see if we can find any. Kurokumo clan, there we go. There she is. Kurokumo Roda. All black, obviously, Kuro, right? Tattoos. Honglu tattoos. They love their Honglu with tattoos, don't they? Kurokumo clan. Another one. And she seems to enjoy it. Okay. Blade Lineage. Interesting. Blade Lineage. Of course, season 1 nothing. And here also nothing. Okay. Oh, actually, hold on. All identities. She's way sync 7 Leo Association. There it is. Blade Lineage. And Kurokumo clan. I have a Kurokumo clan Honglu. Interesting. Fascinating, fascinating. Okay, let's keep reading. We're done with the clans, with syndicates. The Backstreets. Areas of a district not included in the nest, outside of the wing's domain. The residents are mostly people who can't afford to live in the nest. Each area is stacked with restaurants, local businesses, living quarters, schools, academies, and a variety of other facilities. As the name suggests, though, the roads tend to be twisted and intertwined. And there's a constant air of dampness wherever you go. Fun thing I've noticed is that the boundaries between the Backstreets and the nests were clearly drawn in every district I've visited. True. It would have only been to like 3 of them. The city's technology. Okay, here we go. From turning rudimentary cogs to overlaying an alternate identity via a mirror, the city has every level of technology. E.G.O and Cap. Oh my god, here we go. E.G.O. Short stand for Extermination of Geological Organ. Okay. I don't know what this means. Sick. IDK. Seems to be a byproduct of the encapsulating generation once done by the now collapsed R Corp. Reports say the wing originally produced weapons and equipment out of the E.G.O for its employees to use, which doesn't really seem to match what I've seen of it. Interesting. Obviously we know about the weapons and equipment from the E.G.O, right? That's what the Walpurgis identities are. That's what the Lobotomy Corporation was doing, actually. From what I know. For their employees. From what I can tell, the E.G.O our sinners use appears to work by the use... making the emotions of self-identity of the abnormality their own. I see. Although I haven't experienced it myself. So yeah, they start feeling as the identity felt. Like, resonating with it. I've heard a few times that it feels similar to being influenced by someone else's thoughts and reflecting it to life, walking as if in their own shoes. Fascinating. However, if you don't stop at just being convinced and get deeply engrossed in that other sense of self, you'll be taken over by what's carrying it. That killed the sinners a good few times, and hurt me like hell. So that's what corrosion is. How they get corroded. If they don't resist that feeling and fully accept it. So empathy, in this case, would be your worst enemy. Because the more empathy you feel, the more you try to understand that feeling, the more you are in danger of corroding. Fascinating. And Capholin seems to be what the glowing green fuel originally produced by the Lobotomy Corporation is called. Mephistopheles has a device converting humans into enkephalin built into it, and the green liquid filling up the tubes seems to be just like that. To be just that. Also interesting, the green liquid flowing in the tubes, like K Corp's HP. Enkephalin can also be stored in containers of our choice, for easier transport, boxes and modules being the 2 vital examples. The old R Corp's logo can still be seen on the bottom of some enkephalin boxes, which probably means the wing used them as well. Reading the warning on the side, ingesting it apparently has hallucinogenic effects. Who would think to do that? It seems like foreshadowing. Identities. Any invention that overlays a person's identity with a different possibility from numerous other worlds. I heard Yi-Sang was one of its developers. Ooh! Interesting, Yi-Sang. I knew you had the brains. But he always blabbers things I can't wrap my head around whenever I ask, so I don't expect to get any useful, down-to-earth info out of him. Well, I am glad that his Kanto is the next one. Seems like we're gonna learn more about his past and potentially about how he took part in that invention. The identities themselves are found via the engine of Mephistopheles. Not sure how it works, but it looks like you can't just find and grab the identities you want. Trial and error can sometimes stumble upon previously unseen versions of the Sinners too. Okay, so it's basically the gotcha system. We are using the Mephi to extract the identities of the sinners from other worlds. Oh my god. Although I can't write how exactly those identities are used in full, feels like attempting to make me unsure somehow. Synchronizing the extracted identity with my LCB PDA and the boss window allowed me to communicate with or feel it in a way. Calling forth the image of the identity in my mind, I get a sense of understanding as if I'm talking to the sinner like usual. And once the sinner and I make an unspoken agreement, the identity overrides the sinner, accompanied by the sound of glass shattering. Can't think of a more suitable description. Very fascinating. Let's read it again. So, synchronizing the extracted identity with the PDA and the boss window. Very interesting detail, because a window as to see a reflection and glass shattering. Calling forth the image of the identity in my mind, I get a sense of understanding as if I'm talking to the sinner like usual. Very fascinating. The glass imagery, the broken glass imagery, very interesting, because we also seen it with Cromer's example. What we've seen there, it also had broken glass there. While overlaid with an identity, the sinner appears pretty different from usual. On top of attires and weapons, their personalities can also change pretty wildly, and sometimes make me question if they're really the sinners I know. Fortunately, they seem to go back to their normal selves, original selves, when they're done using an identity. But prolonged use might cause small side effects like headaches or residual traces of the identity's personality surfacing from time to time. Very fascinating. I really want to see that actually be implemented in the story. Because so far it's been just like a gameplay thing, and we did not address it in the main story whatsoever. But I do want to see the effects of identity overriding a sinner, and part of that identity still being there. Or even interactions between different identities too. Like that seems so fascinating. I hope they're gonna do it someday. Okay, identity uptying. A process of synchronizing an identity with this world using the thread we've gathered. Thread. So those, like, light bulbs, I suppose. Uptying. There's also a lot of imagery with chains, right? It's how one brought from a different world is tuned to the sinner in ours. I guess it could be likened to binding the two worlds together. From what I can tell, a freshly extracted identity can't immediately transfer all of their knowledge and combat prowess to the sinner. That's why thread must be used to uptie the identity and make it more effective. Nice, love that explanation of the gameplay mechanics. I asked if the max uptie status, as shown on the PDA, is really the highest possible tier. I wanted to know that meant that the sinner virtually becomes the same as the one from another world. I've been told it's theoretically the case. If an identity brought from a certain point in time of the world from where it was extracted gains more experience, training their combat skills further, for example, a new possibility can occur that allows for additional stages of uptying. Fascinating. I guess that's to mean identities from certain points in time could grow stronger in terms of experience and technique. I asked if events differing from our timeline happen in the worlds from where the identities were extracted as time passes. I've been told that we can't know for sure and that it doesn't matter anyway. Limbus Company is only interested in enhancing the sinner's capabilities in battle, so they don't care about what happens with the identity or its world as we uptie them. Yeah, pretty cruel, but what do you expect from the company? Yeah, we're doing this for our own benefit, we don't care about the parallel universes, what happens to them. Pretty shitty, if you ask me. I'm also curious what Dante means when he says, "I've been told." I asked. Who are you asking? Who did answer? Huh? Singularities. Simply put, some kind of incredible technology owned by the Wings. I was curious how they are different from the other technologies in the city. I guess it's the fact that singularities are monopolized by the Wings that own them. Yeah. That's why I thought that the train system in W Corp is a singularity, because they are promoting it so much. If it's their singularity and they are proud of it, and they want to monopolize it, then obviously they're gonna be promoting it, even if it sucks. Another thing of note is that they almost seem to be outside the realm of logic and classical physics. Faust says it's unnecessary to bother thinking about the intricacies in my current state, but I don't think you can brush off flesh regrowing from a severed arm or stickers that boost your luck as things that just work that way. Wait, is my hand a singularity too? Interesting question. We don't know the singularity of... we don't really know the singularity of a Limbus company. But honestly, Mephistopheles seems like it could be. A strangely shaped object is inside, kinda like a bulb-like thing. I don't know how I should describe it. It sometimes wiggles and twitches. Staring into this glimmering thread makes me feel rather woozy. Faust wouldn't let me hold it in my hands for long, so I put it back in place and let her explain what it is. In summary, it's all sorts of possibilities woven into spindles of thread, or something like that. To be frank, I can't really call this a summary when I just wrote down what Faust said almost word for word. I couldn't understand what she meant exactly. It gives me a similar feeling to looking up at the star that appears when I wind the clock. Sort of like awe. Possibilities. Interesting. Obviously something connected to the identities. Thread spinning. Similar to uptying, this is a process of making the sinner's ego more powerful using thread. Though I do wonder why thread spinning and not uptying again. Like identities, the ego used by the sinners are possibilities drawn from the cores of certain abnormalities for appropriate individuals. However, using E.G.O to its full potential requires weaving together a deep understanding and well-read interpretation of the abnormality, which is why it's called thread spinning, sort of like the idiom of spinning a yarn. Thread spinning in E.G.O enriches the comprehension of the abnormality's mental imagery, enhancing its power and effectiveness. Wouldn't that also increase the chance to be corroded the more you understand it? E.G.O seems to be the manifestation of some kind of mental force. I guess it makes sense that forming through knowledge of the abnormality and its ego is important. While Thread's role in uptying is to connect people between worlds, it seems to work like a wire to unravel the core of the abnormality in thread spinning. Faust says we might be able to thread spin E.G.O beyond what we're currently capable of in the future. Similar to upgrading and uptying identities, gathering golden bows should allow us to decipher and interpret them in further detail. Interesting. Upgrading identities. When a sinner tears this identity training ticket, certain experiences seem to flow into them, or the identity they're wearing. These experiences can make them even stronger than how they were in their original worlds at the time of extraction. Well, that's what the relevant theories say, according to Faust. I get that they become better fighters with the added experience, but how does it make them physically stronger too? I got vague but somewhat sensible answers from Faust and Yi-Sang. When an identity is upgraded using tickets, the identity's frame itself is enhanced. To summarize their explanations, upgrades exclusively improve their physical traits. The improvements are made in ways that would have worked in the original worlds the identities are from. Additionally, when an identity with prosthesis is upgraded, the materials and components of them seem to get sturdier and whatnot. Either way, upgrades are focused wholly on physical improvements. I asked if it isn't possibly to upgrade identities beyond their current maximum level, 30 as of writing, as shown on the PDA. These values seem to be related to the golden bows we're collecting. In addition, I was told that I'd be unable to withstand further upgrades for now. Does that mean it will be possible to upgrade them more at a later point? Come to think of it, if these level ups are only for making their physical bodies stronger, then why are these things called training tickets? I thought that was covered by upties. I love these explanations of the in-game mechanics, the gacha elements too. I love when they do that. Okay, and abnormalities, last one. I still don't think I can exactly define what an abnormality is. So far, the ones I've encountered for now anyway, usually had an appearance unlike any human or animal and possessed extraordinary powers. They're beings you'd only expect to see in abnormal fantasies, both in terms of what they look like and what they can do. When I tried asking Faust, she'd keep saying abnormalities are entities of their own category. You shouldn't attempt to define them based on any preconceived standards, and refused to give a more detailed answer. The old R Corp used to classify abnormalities into 5 levels. Yuri told us that R Corp graded them based on their energy production efficiency. Limbus company seems to use the same levels to categorize them. Fascinating. Okay, we are done with Dante's notes. Actually, before we continue, I do want to check out the E.G.Os. some more E.G.Os. E.G.Os that I have encountered already. I do have this one. This E.G.O. This is a Heathcliff. And it seems like this... whoever this is... Whatever this... occultish being is, it's connected to R Corp. Because of my R Corp E-Sang. Very interesting. Red eyes. Yeah, I don't think I recognize any of these now anymore. Pass. There's Liquid Sag, but we didn't. I didn't see it. This guy, this headless creature. Unless they are not in the story. Okay, pink shoes. More like peak shoes, bro. These E.G.Os are wow. We need more pink shoes E.G.Os. We need more. Like, come on. Come on. This is peak. Sinclair. I love this identity. I love this E.G.O. This E.G.O. is perfect. Ugh. Don't seem to recognize any mobs from there. Or from here, so... I guess we'll see, maybe. Okay. Obviously we have no currency, nothing to do there. Let's check out these minis real quick. Dante's records. Will you enter Dante's records? Yes? Sure?
Dante.
Dante? Sinner number 2. Mephistopheles doesn't roar and grumble ahead all day long. Mephisto is an engine that needs rest from time to time, much like how Charon is still a human who needs regular breaks. Are you still awake, Miss Faust?
점검할 게 조금 남아서요. 거칠게 싸운 만큼 엔진을 쉬게 해주고 있을 때 정비가 필요하답니다.
There are a few things left to check. As the engine is treated harshly during operation, it needs to be well maintained while at rest. To substantiate her words, Faust carried light tools and a small mechanical device in place of her usual sway hander. You're working hard.
이 정도는 고생의 축에도 들지 않는답니다. 오히려 파우스트의 역작에 돌봐줄 시간도 없이 혹사당하는 걸 바라만 보는 편이 더 고생이죠.
This barely counts as work. To witness Faust's magnum opus Cordis being overworked with no time for care takes a greater toll, rather. She said this after making a light smile.
이번 업데이트는 마음에 드시나요?
Do you like this update in particular? Faust looked down at me using a handled device. Oh, this thing?
네. 평소에는 그렇게 만지작거리시지는 않았던 것 같아서요.
Yes, I believe previously you weren't fitting with it as often. It's nothing much. I was just, making the most of this new feature I've needed. Whenever Faust requests a break for routine maintenance, my LCB PDA also receives updates. Okay, this is also the first time we've heard about the PDA in the main story. Because I just took it for face value for what it is in the notes. The updates occasionally come with additional functions, and this time...
노트? 이 기능이 아직도 없었던 건가요?
A note? The device didn't have this functionality until now? That's why we are able to write notes?
No, it didn't, surprisingly enough. You didn't know that? I thought you were omniscient, Faust.
파우스트는 파우스트가 아는 모든 것을 알 뿐이죠.
Faust only knows everything that Faust knows. I can say the same thing, lady.
어디? 실례 좀 할게요.
Pardon me for a moment. She took a peek at the screen of my tablet.
단테, 백과 사전이라도 만들려는 건가요?
Are you attempting to write an encyclopedia, Dante?
I mean, you keep using words I don't know, stuff like fixers or whatever wings are. It might be common vocabulary for you all, but not me.
그렇군요. 도시에 관한 기억을 전부 잃었을 테니.
I understand. I do suppose you've lost all the memory of the city?
Yep. So I want to write down most stuff here. And copy down the things I've been scribbling on paper while I'm at it.
This clock on my shoulders could be replaced with yet another hat at any moment. There's no guarantee the memories I have right now will stay with me. That's why I must prepare a backup plan like this, so I don't forget twice. That's nice, I like that. I wish I did this before checking the Dante's nose, but oh well. This was a nice little thing. Bus's back door. Okay.
뭐야?
What the hell? Without warning, the bus ground to a sudden halt in the Backstreets.
오늘은 여기서 멈출 거야.
We'll stop here today. A regular W. A very rare W, but a W nonetheless. Karen on the screen.
카론, 예전보다 조금 모자란 위치인 것 같은데요.
Karen, I fear we haven't quite reached the destination.
목표의 15% 정도 모자란 위치다. 이후 일정을 위해서는 적어도 3% 이상의 전진이 이상적이다.
We are approximately 15% short of the target location. Considering our schedule, proceeding at least 3% further would be ideal.
카론, 졸려. 훌륭한 버스 기사는 졸음운전 안 해.
Karon's sleepy. Excellent bus drivers don't drive while sleepy.
알아먹겠으니까 갑자기 급브레이크 밟지 말란 말이야. 지금 몇 번째인 줄 알아?
God, it just stops stomping the brakes every damn time! Do you know how much you've done this?
히스클리프 씨가 코를 앞좌석에 박은 게 벌써 네 번째이니 이 일도 벌써 네 번째일 것이오.
Forsooth, Sir Heathcliff hath crashed his nose onto the back of the front seat for the fourth time, which must signify that this has the fourth screeching halt to occur.
졸리기 시작하자마자 운전대를 벗어나야 합니다. 라디오가 그랬어.
Leave the wheel as soon as you start feeling sleepy. Set the radio.
The radio? You listening to the radio?
맞는 말이긴 하지만 조금 융통성 있게 받아들일 필요도 있는 거 아닌가요?
That's a good point, but you need to be a bit more flexible about that sort of thing.
말하는 사람에 따라서 평범한 말도 이렇게 재치가 있어지는군요.
A statement as plain as that can be quite amusing depending on who says it.
도련님도 나랑 같은 생각인가 보네. 제일 융통성 없는 사람이 그런 말을 하면 웃기다는 거.
The minted boy agrees with me, eh? It's funny when the least flexible one says that kind of gabble.
말 다 했어요. 그렇게 따지면 저기 아직도 자기가 전쟁통 장교인 줄 아는 꼰대.
Damn, the stray. That's crazy-ish. Damn. She's not wrong though. You know? And she sounds so sleepy too. What was that? If that's what you're playing at, what about that old fogey over there who still thinks she's a wartime general? Ishmael pointed to... You even pointed! Not even being subtle about it. Ishmael pointed to Autis, whose veins were beginning to stick out of her veteran and placid face. What, not letting you sleep? Bro, he sounds so done with our shit. Bro, we get it. You're upset. Stop grumbling. This is the prime example of the terror of a learned fear. It's happened enough to be familiar, but it's still rather intimidating to hear Vergilius send the boss into a chilling silence with a single gesture or utterance.
뭐지? 잘들 조잘거렸잖아. 계속 주둥이들 놀리지 그래.
What is it? You were all happily chatting moments ago. No reason not to continue.
오히려 당신이 깽판치라고 한숨 쉰 거 아니었나?
Weren't you sighing to go on a proper rampage after?
개지게 핀 거다. 몸이 찌뿌둥해서 말이야.
I was stretching. I felt a bit stiff.
Sure you were, buddy. Sure you were. Load.
하는 짓들이 제법 우습군. 종소리만 들으면 침을 흘려대는 개의 꼴이라니.
It's laughable how you behave. You're like dogs that drool at the sound of a bell.
Yeah, Heath. Yeah. Yikes.
불만 있으면 항상 그랬듯 뒷칸 내 사무실로 오도록 면담할 시간을 만들어줄 테니 파우스터 씨, 나머지 정리를 부탁하지.
If you've got complaints, remember that my office in the back always has open hours. I'll make time for consultations. Miss Faust, I'll leave the rest to you.
네,
Of course. Vergilius nonchalantly walked past the sinners and their piercing stares with Charon at his side, and both stood at the back of the bus.
열려라. 들게.
Open Perilla.
카론, 참깨다.
It's sesame, Charon.
카론도 알아. 어차피 그런 주문으로 여는 거 아니잖아.
Charon knows. It's not like magic phrases are what open doors anyway.
Dude, she's so smart.
그렇지.
I suppose so.
While they exchanged corny jokes, the door, large enough to fit the backside, slowly opened.
벌써 몇 달은 됐는데도 저건 볼 때마다 기분이 묘하단 말이야.
Been a few months, but still weirds me out every time I see it.
밖에서 보던 것보다 안이 더 넓잖아요. 그쵸?
It's bigger on the inside, right? As the back door opened, a splendid, narrow, deep, spacious hallway revealed itself. Oh my god. This is what we've seen in the April Fool's event. I was wondering where this is, but it's actually in the bus. It's so fascinating. The bus is so small, but it's so spacious from within. What the hell? Magic. An endless corridor that looked to go on forever. Far into this hallway, classy polos demarcate the end of the area we're allowed to traverse, standing in front of unending lines of red lights. Though the place seems comfy, something about it makes eerie feelings creep up.
생각해보니 저것도 날개의 특이점인가? 파우스트 씨, 당신은 알지 않아?
Well, now that I think about it, is that one of those singularities belonging to a wing? Frofos, do you know anything?
물론 알죠. 하지만 대부분 자세히 말할 수 없다는 것도 알지 않나요, 그레고르 씨?
Of course it is known, but I'm certain that you do know that I cannot speak of them in much detail, Harry Gregor.
살갑게도 말할 수 있다고 생각하는데.
I could stand to be a bit nicer about it.
여긴 복도다.
This is a corridor.
맞아요. 복도죠.
That's correct. It's a corridor.
아, 그래. 길게 쭉 이어져 있고 방들이 다닥다닥 붙어 있으니 복도긴 복도겠네.
Sure is. It's a long hallway with doors to rooms on the sides. Of course it's a corridor.
뭐.
fuck.
뭐라는 건지. 아휴, 그만두자. 나도 피곤하니까. 단테 씨, 빨리 그거나 해줘.
What are you trying to... Whatever. I'm too tired. Dante, please hurry on with it. Dagger's words snapped me out of idly staring down to the edge of the passage.
Oh yeah. Right.
단테, 항상 하는 일이라 필요성을 느끼지는 못하겠지만 그래도 관리자의 승인은 중요한 절차입니다. 이해해주세요.
Dante, well, I understand that you may feel it to be unnecessary, repetitive act. Simply put, the executive manager's approval is a vital part of the procedure. Please understand.
No need to put it like that, Miss Faust.
With that answer, I got up from my seat and stood at the front of the bus looking at the crew.
I hereby confirm today's close of business for the sinners.
감사합니다. 지금부터 변동 가능성을 가진 최대 12시간의 수면비 휴식을 시작합니다. 좋은 밤 되시게.
Thank you kindly. Starting now, you all will be given a maximum of 12 hours to partake in sleep and rest. The duration is subject to change. Have a good night.
As soon as Faust finished speaking, the sinners walked along with growls and sighs.
아이고, 피곤하다.
Oh jeez. Oh man, I'm wiped.
싱클레어군! 오늘도 체스를 두지 않겠는가?
Ooh.
A fine night, young Sinclair. What say you, another game of chess?
싫어요. 돈키호테 씨 질 것 같을 때마다 이상 씨한테 훈수해달라고 하잖아요.
No thanks, Don Quixote. You always run to Mr. Hisang for hints whenever you're losing.
사실과 다르오, 싱클레어군. 그건 내가 악수를 쳐다만 볼 수 없어.
That is untrue, Sinclair. That, was because I could not bear to watch the grievous misplacements.
더 나쁘잖아요.
That's even worse!
관리자님, 고생하셨습니다. 금일 불침번은...
Bonjour, manager, and thank you for today's work. As for tonight's watch...
Oh, Mayor Salt. Thanks for suggesting. Yeah, I wasn't really feeling sleepy today.
Then Audio suddenly intervened.
관리자님, 항상 말씀드리는 것이지만 피곤하시다면 불침번으로 언제든 저를...
Executive Manager, allow me to remind you that I'm always willing to stand in for the night watch duty if you ever feel fatigued.
자자, 부관 언니. 들어가서 자자.
Yeah, Babushka the camp. How's about we get inside now?
관리자님, 근무간 고생하...
Executive Manager, Your heart daytime work must...
자, 가시죠.
Sure, let's get you to bed. Why was that like a meme that... Sure, Grandma, okay, let's get you to bed. Sure, okay, Grandma. Ishmael gave me a small nod and then proceeded to draggingly chaperone Autis through the back door with Rhoda. Then at last, Faust and I remained.
다행이네요, 단테. 오티스 씨를 밀어넣지 않으면 또 불침번을 양보해달라고 꽤 오랫동안이나 보챘을 테니까요.
That was fortunate, Dante. Had they not forced Autis to retire, she would have nagged you for the duty of night watch for quite a while again.
It does happen a lot, yeah. I'm so tired of this shit.
I commented back as I watched the sinners head into the corridor, one after another. After Rhoda has entered and closed the door, Ishmael opens the same to get inside.
You said the door leads to a different space each time it opens, right?
Ooh, fascinating. Teleportation?
네. 수감자들이 적절한 정신 상태에만 있다면 본인이 숙박하고 쓸 수 있는 적절한 공간으로 이어지죠.
Yes. As long as a sinner is in the right mental condition, the door will lead to lodging appropriate for rest and personal use. Lodging, is it? They looked more like jail cells last time I peeked through the window. Still, she must mean it can be used as a personal living space for sleep, showers, self-care and all that.
그 외에도 궁금한 게 있으신가 보군요.
You seem to have other questions beside that. My clock has no eyes, nose or mouth, and yet somehow it feels as though Faust reads something out of me. Not that she'll tell me how she manages it.
You know, just curious, what's over there?
I pointed down to the far end of the corridor with my finger. Right to the horizontal depths of this seemingly endless corridor.
수차례 말씀드렸지만 궁금해하지 않는 편이 좋습니다, 단테.
As I have told you repeatedly, it is best not to be curious about it, Dante. As expected, Faust chose to walk into the corridor with a faint sigh instead of real answer. And yet, just maybe, Faust knew all along. She knew it all, as she likes to say. Maybe she knew that I would learn about what lies beyond in the corridor soon enough. Oh! Interesting. More setup. You look at this place. There are carpets. Damn. Fancy. Also interesting, it depends on the mental state of the person, huh? So interesting. Now Mini 3, beyond the bus's corridor. Oh, already? Okay. It happened exactly a week after that fruitless exchange. I hereby confirm today's close of business for the sinners.
감사합니다. 지금부터 변동 가능성을 가진 최대 12시간의 수면 및 휴식을 시작합니다. 좋은 밤 되시게.
Standard procedure. Thank you kindly. Starting now, you all will be given a maximum of 12 hours to partake in sleep and rest. The duration is subject to change. Have a good night. Faust gives the same instructions as always. In response, sinners groan and stretch like usual. Except this time, one sinner stuck out of that normalcy like a sore thumb.
또 뭐죠?
What now?
됐어, 이스. 제가 저렇게 심술나 있는 게 뭐 하루 이틀이야?
Leave him be, she. It's not like the first time he's all grumpy like that, is it?
히스, 방에 들어가기 전에 꼭 화 풀고 들어가. 매번 네 방에서 천둥치는 소리가 들려서 밤에 잠을 못 잔단 말이야.
And his, make sure to simmer down before you get in your room, okay? All that grumbling thunder in there keeps me awake, you know? Ooh, interesting. Grumbling thunder. according to his mental space, right? So each room represents... Okay, I'm starting to understand it better. And it's also interesting because I know that I've seen some identities and egos with Heathcliff that have to do with lightning. So I'm very curious about that. I think also in his introduction, in the background there's like a storm happening with thunder too. I wonder. The sinners' rooms, their lodging, personal space, and cell reflect their state of mind, or so I've heard. Each room's floors, walls, and overall ambience are shaped after the sinner's personality, and the view through the window changes depending on their emotions and mental state. Though all I've seen were distant glimpses through the window, so I don't have all the details. Ooh, interesting. So they have... Are those like circle things on the doors? Are they windows inside the rooms? Because it kind of reminds me of the E.G.Os. They're also circular, right? Almost like a window. Like we're looking through that window into that mental state. The room Heathcliff enters would sometimes, actually rather frequently, emit withering and stormy sounds. I see. Usually he'd snap back with a "why would I?" or something like that, but he only clicked his tongue. I suppose he doesn't feel like arguing. Thanks to that, he stood in the corridor until all the other sinners, save for Faust, went into their rooms, staring down the passage with a frown. Maybe he was relieving stress this way. And that right there is where the incident began.
뭐라?
알아?
야, 지금 보니까 저 멀리에도 문이 잔뜩 있는데.
알아? Hey, what's with all those doors down the alley? Alley. Heathcliff pointed in the same exact direction I did a week ago. Those doorways were beyond the no trespassing line blocking the way.
히스클리프, 필요 이상으로 복도를 걷진 않는 게 좋습니다.
Heathcliff, I recommend against walking further into the corridor than necessary.
그렇게 말하니까 굉장히 수상한데.
I'm not sure it makes it sound awfully suspicious.
수상할 것은 아무것도 없습니다. 파우스트의 말을 듣는 편이 좋습니다.
There is nothing of which to be suspicious. You are better off listening to Faust.
뭐, 금은 보화라도 숨겨놨나?
What? You keep treasures or some such in there? Faust's secretive attitude was enough to rouse his curiosity.
히스클리프, 하지 마세요. 후회할 겁니다.
Heathcliff, do not do it. You will regret your action.
모르던 사이에 많이 감정적으로 변했네, 똑똑 박사씨.
Got well emotional and gobby, eh, Miss Clevers?
마치 진짜 뭘 숨겨놨다는 듯이 말이야!
It's like you're actually hiding something there! He sprinted into the dark before we could stop him. Wasn't in there! Just as I was about to ask Faust an obvious thing to be concerned over. What the fuck? Heathcliff's sharp scream echoed from the unlit area far into the corridor. Bro's having a nightmare. I swear I had a nightmare like that when I was a kid. Like just running through a corridor and it gets just darker and darker until it gets really dark. I noticed that it's completely dark. And then I tried to stop myself, but I'm falling and I'm screaming. It's the same like that.
단테, 지금부터 제 왼손을 잡고 저를 따라서 달리세요.
Dante, now is the time to take my left hand and run with me.
제 시간 안에 끌고 나오려면 저 혼자로는 부족해요. 저도 삼켜줄 수 있으니까요.
I won't be able to get him out in time on my own. I may be engulfed myself if I don't act quickly. Before I could process what she meant, Faust ran off in the direction Heathcliff disappeared. What? Shakaroonies! What are you talking about, Dante? Shakaroonies? What? I've heard a lot of things. But shakaroonies? Nah. Dante, you're a clown, you know that? Oh. Wait for me! Ooh! Different doors. Yo, a red door, a red wooden door, blue door, high-tech door, it's a corridor, I don't know, and a pretty bleak wooden, okay. As we crossed the eerie music too, as we crossed the line and proceeded deeper into the corridor, we came across a three-way crossroads.
I think I heard screams coming from the middle.
However, without a moment's hesitation, Faust darted for the left aisle.
Faust, I know you're in a hurry, but are you sure this is the right way? I could have sworn I heard his voice coming from the center path.
알아요.
I know. Without elaborating further, Faust continued running. At another fork we encountered, Faust chose the right path. Right afterwards, she entered the fifth door on the left side of that hallway. Jesus Christ, what a labyrinth. I can already imagine the Scooby-Doo chase scene happening here.
What is this?
Right as I entered, another hall came into view. Its end was like a cliff. To be more precise, I felt some kind of gravitational pull trying to get me to fall to the end of the hallway.
Heathcliff!
Then I saw him. He crawled towards us with all his might from the middle of the hall. Ooh. Interesting. So the corridor, like, reflected his mental state, I guess? Making him fall. Off a cliff, get it? As if he might fall the moment he lets go.
뭐야, 이것들은... 여기는...
What the hell is all this? This place? Even though I couldn't see much in the dark behind him, I definitely felt some presence in it.
Faust, what's over...
단테, 열린 이 문의 손잡이를 꼭 잡으세요. 제 손도 꽉 잡으시고요.
Dante, I want you to hold the knob of this open door tightly. Firmly grip my hand as well. Holding my hand securely, she gradually approached Heathcliff.
This hallway isn't tilted or anything, is it? Why does it feel like we're hanging off a cliff?
그야, 복도니까요. 단테, 손을 놓치면 안 돼요.
Of course, yes, common sense, Dante, come on. That is because we're in the corridor, obviously. Dante, do not let go. Reminding me to hold fast, Faust extended her other arm while holding her Zweihander.
히스클리프, 이걸 잡으세요.
Heathcliff, grab this if you would.
미쳤냐? 그 커다란 칼날을 쥐면 손이 잘려나가잖아!
Are you mental? My hand will get gashed if I try grabbing a giant blade.
손이 깊게 베이는 것으로 끝나는 게 나을 텐데요.
You'll much prefer deep wounds on your palms to what you can suffer down there. Baffled, Heathcliff looked at the sword and then the darkness behind him. fucking do it.
단테, 당기세요. 힘껏.
Dante, pull him up. Might and main.
Got it!
Right as we pulled Heathcliff up. No, I'm not sure if it's even right to say that we pulled him up, but nevertheless, Faust hoisted his unconscious body by the legs and started rushing, saying that we need to return the way we came. Following her lead, I supported his arms and trailed behind, keeping his head from dragging along the floor. After burning some time,
더 깊은 곳에서 방향을 잃기 전에 이렇게 돼요. 차라리 다행이라고 할까요?
Let us say that it is fortunate he wasn't lost in a deeper area.
단테, 시계를 돌려줘야겠습니다.
Dante, you will have to turn the clock.
Heathcliff's gonna be okay, right?
정신적인 피해가 심할 겁니다. 이대로 미쳐버리면 업무에 지장이 크겠네요.
The psychological damage is likely to be severe. Our work will be encumbered if he loses his mind.
I didn't have a choice.
수고했습니다, 단테. 얼마 없는 휴식 시간이 줄어든 건 안타깝다고 생각하지만
Good work back there, Dante. While it is unfortunate that we have lost a portion of our limited break time to this.
Faust, just what's in there? Where does it lead? Could you tell me at this point? I've seen that stuff now.
It was only natural that I want to know that what resides there and what was chasing Heathcliff. Moreover, why did it never show itself to us, and why did it vanish instead of chasing him any further? These questions were driving me crazy, but alas.
처음에 말했듯 파우스트는 말할 수 있는 것이 한정되어 있답니다.
As stated earlier, there are limits to what Faust can elaborate.
Yep, I honestly didn't expect much.
독도 알 모사.
The corridor, UIF. Ryushi muttered with a cigarette in her mouth, walking past us both. She must have left her room while we were out on our rescue mission.
하지만
However,
Faust proceeded as if not a soul had just walked by, as if nothing was just said.
Huh?
버스 부서에 갑작스런 공석이 생길 뻔한 걸 막아주셨으니
you did prevent a sudden vacancy in the bus department.
보상은 아니지만 하나 정도는 알려두는 것도 후일을 위해 나쁘지 않겠다고 생각합니다.
Though I wouldn't exactly call it a reward, I do suppose it isn't a bad idea to inform you of one thing.
Let me hear it.
Schmeckaroonies. The unexpected boon had me rubbing my hands together. Right, what will she tell me now?
단테, 처음 가는 길을 찾을 때 당신은 어떻게 할 건가요?
Dante, when you traverse a road you have never walked before, what do you do?
Huh? I mean, you use a map, obviously?
그렇죠. 그리고 지도가 없더라도 머릿속에 지도와 같은 표상이 생길 테고요.
That's right. Then, even if you don't have a map, your brain will form images to serve as one.
그렇다면 지도 안에는 확실한 시작점과 도착점이 존재하겠군요. 돌아올 때는 그걸 더듬으며 거슬러 올라오겠죠.
From there, on that map, there will be a starting point and a destination clearly marked. When you return from your trip, you will trace back through that way.
It's so obvious that I don't need to verbally answer, I just nodded along.
대답이 되었겠죠.
Hopefully that makes it clear enough.
Huh?
그러니 복도에서는, 특히 문을 열 때는 시작점을 기억하세요.
This is why you should remember where you've started in the corridor, especially when you open a door. Flabbergasted by the abrupt end, I blurted.
자, 파우스트는 이제 피곤하답니다. 그럼
Now then, Faust has grown tired. Do take care. She walked through the door before I could say something, leaving me with a riddle.
Of course it would go like this.
I sighed out of frustration, but not a breath of air is expelled from my pitiful clock. Still, left powerless, all I can do is boot up this electronic notebook and piece together what little information I have collected. Okay, Faust, okay. Very interesting, very intriguing, this corridor. Huh. Very SCP-like. Okay, so after this, do I have anything updated here? Doesn't seem like it. About the corridor. Okay, well, this is gonna be it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and next time we're finally gonna be starting. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all in the next one. Vroom vroom.